Hi guys, welcome to TFSL TV. Just sort my screen out. Sorry. Um, this is a Division 4 preview. If other managers want to do any of the other divisions, that's up to them. Um, so I'm talking to one screen and I'm looking at another for the info. I haven't got any spangly uh, graphics or anything like that. Some of the videos you guys have been putting out have been unbelievable. Put me to shame. But I'm just going to briefly talk about who I think are going to be the promotion candidates, which teams are going to be strong. Um, right, I've done my research here. Division 4 is probably the most interesting out of the four divisions because you've got a mixture of teams that we're not quite sure about. 10 teams from Scotland, 5 from the Republic of Ireland, 3 from Northern Ireland, 1 from Wales, 1 from England. It's a mixture. There's unknown quantities as well with managers as well. Not all the managers I know what their strategy is. Beginning of the week, I sent out a message to all the Division 4 managers. About half got back to me. Basically wanted information about strategy, signings, club, anything really. So obviously if half only get back, you can only do so much. But top of my head, there's 7 teams in the division with that clear 10,000 in terms of stadium size. The 2 Dundee teams, Motherwell, Partick, Livingston, St Johnstone. I've forgotten the other one. I can't remember. Might have been St Mirren or Falkirk. I can't remember. Right. So I've done a prediction of who's going to be champion. I've looked at all the squad values and I've looked at all the signings people have made. I'm going to go for first place, Hamilton Academicals under Ahmed. Their squad is very, very high rated. Not only has he got a strong 11, he's got a strong squad. So he's got depth. So I'm going to choose Hamilton in first place. And I'm going to choose Burton Albion to go up in runners-up position under Andrew Flint because not the biggest team, but one of the best squad values, and he's added to it with high-rated players as well. So Hamilton and Burton for me are going to go up top 2. Playoffs is a minefield and it's really difficult. I've chosen Motherwell under Matt Pill, but it really depends on how active Matt is. Dundee United under Dave Faint look good. Again, how active is Dave going to be? It's hard to say. A little bit of a curveball here, but this is a team I think are going to do well. The manager's active. He's put together a high-rated side, and that's Cork City, the Billy Suter. I think they're going to be a surprise package in Division 4 this season, so watch out for Cork. The last remaining spot, Glenavon are strong under Andy Martin. Started with very little, but he's just gone high-rated. May struggle to last the distance. St Johnstone, I'm going to probably say are going to take that last playoff spot under Joe Green. Depends how active Joe is. Now there are some good teams that start off with decent infrastructure, but because of the managers and their long-term strategy, I don't see them in the top 6 this year. One of them is Gareth Crisp at Ross County, who's probably one of the better managers in the division. And if he wanted to, and if he had chose to go down the high-rated route, I think Ross County would be one of the favourites for sure. But he's bought 25, 26 under 21s. It's clear he's doing something different. It's a different project. So it probably means in season 1 he won't be among the playoff contenders. You never know because they might get risers halfway throughout the season. I think they'll be competitive and I think they'll be in the top half, but I don't see Ross County in the top 6. Dundee under Dan C, very similar. Again, I think he's come out and said in the past that results are secondary to the long-term development. If he had chosen to, I'm sure he could have put Dundee in that top 6 with what they already inherited. But it looks like they're going to play a long ball game. Partick under Danny Van Heck, very, very similar. So these are 3 teams that could definitely go up because they've got more about them than a lot of the teams, but their managers have made a conscientious decision to go long-term. Falkirk under Niall Taylor. I don't feel like Falkirk under Niall or Wrexham under Craig, their managers are active enough. And whether it be real-life commitments or they're in too many game worlds, I don't see how you can be challenging in a game world like this if you're not on it because there's just too many active managers. So you're going to get found out, and this is going to be the problem for a few managers. They're going to find out quickly. You can't coast through these game worlds. You've got to be on it. You've got to be committed. And there are so many game worlds now, and there's some very, very good game worlds, and it's very difficult to. I suppose you've got to prioritise, and you've got to think which game worlds are the most important ones. But it's like anything. If you take your eye off the ball, you're going to suffer the consequences. We've got a few probably unknown quantities. Looking at Livingston should be strong under Antonio Pardale. They've gone quite a high rated route. I do expect Livingston to be around the top 8. Perhaps I've underestimated them and they'll be in the playoffs as well. It depends on Joe and how active he is at St Johnstone. So Livingston under Antonio. Dundalk I think are going to struggle under If, the game world owner, because he's playing a long-term game. But at the moment, If and one or two others are waiting for lots of external deals to come through. I understand why. I just feel like you've got to hit the ground running straight away, which is what I've done at Crusaders. And my Crusaders started off with £541,000 spend and a 3,300 stadium. We are the smallest team in the game world, but we're not going to come bottom. We've got a reasonable 11. We did okay in pre-season, and we got some good loans in. I can say this for Crusaders: 26 players have come in, 13 under 21s, 10 over 35s, and 3 are loans. So I've gone for a balance. So I'll try and be competitive. I'll try and get some results. I haven't gone down one route solely. I've tried to mix it up. I think we'll beat a few teams, but I don't see us anywhere near the playoffs because we haven't got any depth. Glenavon, I think, will be up there. They've got a stronger depth. Derry City under Brian Reid. I think Brian, like Iv, is a similar situation, waiting for external transfers to come in. So it's difficult to pass judgment on teams that haven't done a lot in the terms of activity. Bohemians under Danny Cogger seem to be playing a long haul game. I think they'll do well in the long term. I don't see them challenging top 6 this season. Coleraine under James Johnson, know very little about because James hasn't said too much so far. He did give me a little bit of feedback on his team, I think, and I'm looking at his transfers now. Not huge amounts of activity, but he's brought in one or two oldie boys to sort of bump up the squad. I'm sure James, if Brian Reid, maybe Noel Taylor, are all waiting for turn 1 to expire, so tomorrow, and then they can start getting bids in and start shaping their teams. So it's very difficult to pass judgment on these sort of guys. I don't know how many of you realise this, but I checked, and I believe this season, this game world, Division 1, Division 2, 3, 4, the whole thing, ends December the 13th, which is ages away. It's almost Christmas. A lot can change between now and Christmas. Really, the teams that we all start off with will probably have very little bearing to the teams we all finish up on in December. It will be like a wave of signings, and then come October, a lot of managers will be shipping them out and then sort of rejigging it all. Who haven't I covered? Shamrock, don't know anything about them. They're probably one of the biggest Irish teams. Andy Guest. Andy's not been active. Surprise, surprise. Very little. Pull your finger out, Andy. We've said this before about you. Bought Gibbs White, a decent signing from Wolves, and that's it. Maybe Andy's again. He just went out and bought one good quality player like Iv has at Arsenal with the Rose Smith signing. But if they're waiting for turn 1 to expire to get bids in, fair enough. But at the moment, there are teams playing catch up. There are teams that are sorted, ready, and look like they're going to hit the ground running, and there are teams that don't look quite on it. And Shamrock are one of them. So yeah, just to recap, then we're going to go Hamilton, Burton, Motherwell, Dundee United, Cork, and take your pick from Glenavon, St Johnstone, or Livingston for that final playoff spot. They're my tips for now. Very, very difficult to call though. And I'm only going to do Division 4 because I believe other managers should be covering their own divisions. It shouldn't just be me doing everything. That'll get boring. Let's hear different people coming up with different things for their own divisions. I'm moving to China in 10 days, so there'll be a time difference and I'll be quite busy. So my activity in this game was going to be limited for the next few weeks, but my commitment won't. I'll be active, I'll be logging on, but I won't be coming up with much in terms of social media. So I'm hoping other people can take the baton and rise to the challenge. The Facebook page has been amazing. It's been as good as anything I've seen, and I've been in some top game worlds. It's nice to see some vids coming in. This game world is nobody's asking for anything. It's the onus is on the individual if they want to contribute, and I think that's probably the best way. If you start chasing people up, it gets their backs up and they get fed up. And actually, I've seen one or two managers very active in this game world that previously were a little bit quiet. So perhaps they just prefer being left to their own devices. We have a waiting list of 4 managers, which possibly will grow. So inevitably there'll be managers leaving in game worlds, but it will be their own choice, their own volition. There won't be anyone hounding anyone out. So it's really up to you. But you know, if you're in this game world, you know you're lucky. You've got a nice, you've got a spot in a good up and coming game world. People that contribute, it all helps. The news feed, the Facebook group, vids, it all contributes. It all plays a part. And I believe there could even be like a blog website for articles. So we'll see. And if any of you do any vids from now on, please send them to Kev Wright on Facebook or send them to the Hotmail Total Fusion SL at hotmail.com. Or if you don't want it on YouTube, just stick it in the Facebook group yourself. Right, guys, I wish you all the best of luck for today's opening kickoff. And I hope you all enjoy the game world and look forward to seeing all your different posts throughout the season. Cheers, guys.